Howdy, 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 my name's Anachi Sasuke, and welcome back to Let's Read Homestuck! Yay! Woo! So, in the last episode, I stopped at a weird spot. Like, I probably should have read this whole dialogue, but I believe that I couldn't breathe that day. So there was some sort of reason that I didn't want to read this wall of text, but look at it. Look at it! But I'm sure it won't be that bad. These are my friends, Aradia and Solix. I've recruited them for this expedition as specialists. They aren't really here to do any fighting, but their abilities will become useful once we retrieve the treasure. Hello! Hey! Are you alive? Your eyes do not look spooky and ghostly. Thanks, yes, I'm alive. Yeah, and apparently she intends to stay that way? Hence her principled, if somewhat lame commitment to pacifism. Or pacifism? That's right, I thought I said pacifism. But considering our history together, I'm willing to let bygones be bygones. I'm happy to have her on my crew in whatever capacity she likes. Your history? What happened? Wait, that's a rude question, sorry. Vriska killed her too? She used the other guy there as tragically as the death weapon. Hey! What did I say about bygones being bygones? That's like rule fucking 1 of this ship. Anyway, she became a robot and killed me back, so obviously we're cool now. Jeez, why does everyone always die so much? LOL, like this guy's one to talk. Solix, don't make our guest uncomfortable. He's already uncomfortable, and he should be. We all should be. Really, I haven't thought about any of that in a long time. Ancient conflicts don't mean anything to me anymore, but I was more than thrilled by the opportunity to go on another adventure like this. We used to enjoy such campaigns together all the time when we were younger. Of course, now the teams are a little different. Yeah! Man, those were the days. What about you? Why do you have double eye patches? Because I'm blind, stupid? I can't tell if you're alive or not, or alive too or not, because I can't see if your eyes are spooky. They're spooky as shit, but yes, I'm alive. Okay, here's the short version. I used to be able to see, but then I went blind. Then I used my powers too hard and died. But it turned out I was only half dead. Half dead? Let me finish. So the ghost half of me could see again, so I was only half blind. But then somebody prototyped my corpse, which I guess sucked the ghost half of me out of my body to make me fully alive again. And also fully blind. And now the ghost part of my soul is sharing a sprite body with fucking Eridan of all people. Who's Eridan? Just the douche who blinded me in the first place. It doesn't even matter. Alright. But I don't think I quite followed all of that. What does being half dead mean? You know, forget it. I'm so sick of telling this story to people over and over, and nobody fucking understands what the hell I'm talking about. It's all so simple. No, actually, it isn't. It's a fucking stupid story that makes no sense. Maybe that's the problem. My marginal existence is fraught with so much pointless duality and complicated nonsense, so I'm done even trying to explain it. From now on, I should just wear a shirt that says, "Don't ask me about my disability or mortality." Then everything would be fine. It's really kind of a shame that Gamzee prototyped Eridan's torso parts and swiped his ghost from the afterlife. I bet he would have had a great time on this voyage. I used to own him during our nautical campaigns all the time. If he was on this ship, I would walk the plank and plummet through the fake-ass water through infinite nowhere forever. Besides, you act like you haven't already recruited at least 50 fucking Eridans from Doom timelines in your army. You really are shamefully prejudiced against our alternate reality ghost selves. They're just as real as we are and have the same emotions and everything. Give me a break, Solix. As if you don't view them the exact same way. You've got real Eridan and then pretty much a whole bunch of pretenders out there. They're all real! Shit, I don't even like Eridan, but here I am sticking up for his copies. See, you just called them copies. Even you can't avoid accidentally using a problematic slur which reveals that no matter what you believe about your morals, deep down you're always going to favor the original while viewing all the others as duplicates of lesser value. Oh, whatever. Just whatever. Rationalize the collateral damage to your army all you want. And to think, before I joined your army, I heard rumors that you might have changed. Like learned to be a better person or something. Yeah, right. Oh, please. I hardly think I'm a bad person for failing to give a shit about a billion meaningless dead Nepetas. Do you? No, you're not a bad person for that particular reason, I guess. What am I seriously supposed to do? Fly around and befriend each one individually? Sorry, I have better things to do with my time. Let's try to be at least somewhat practical here. I've met most of those Nepetas. They're all very nice. Oh, shut up. And what about all those ships ahead? Are they part of the treasure hunt too? Of course, that's my army. Okay, I mean our army. But like, on boats. Isn't an army on boats usually called a navy? John, help me out. I seem to be having trouble remembering which one of us is the captain. Was it the dork in blue pajamas, or was it the veteran sailor in the red captain's coat? That's right, the captain was me! And I say it's an army that happens to be on a bunch of boats. Ooh, oh damn, he got smoked. Wow, so smoked. Mina, did you catch those sick fires? No, but for real, it pretty much is a navy. Just saying. Who's in the army? Thousands of ghosts, primarily those of old friends and acquaintances. Yeah. We've amassed a coalition of eager volunteers ready to lay down their ghost lives for a worthy cause. You mean fighting Lord English? When we're ready for that, yes, but we need the treasure first. So for now they're sailing ahead of us in large numbers to attract his attention so he can do more damage to the ring and fill out the rest of our maps. We should be very grateful for their bravery. They're making a noble sacrifice for us all. Bravery, yeah, right. I'm mostly sure she's mind-controlling them. God damn it, Tavros! We really don't need your play-by-play commentary on everything. Wait, you're mind-controlling all those ghosts? No, well, not all of them. Once you group enough together, others tend to latch on to the mob out of curiosity. We trolls have a way of clustering together naturally. You've got to understand, John, most of these people are pretty self-absorbed. They just need a little bit of persuasion to join the cause. Word. Yeah, but isn't that still kind of, dickish? But all of these stubborn jackasses are going to double die anyway if we don't all work together and kill this guy. This is war, John. In times of war, difficult decisions have to be made with the lives of many. Just think of me as a general giving orders to my troops. It just happens that the orders are a little more direct in this case. Hey, Circuit Deuce, let's not lose track of who's actually in charge of this shit, okay? Yeah, all hail her imperious teen condescension, the fresh new face of tyranny, Supreme Admiral Pixies. At this time, I would like to motion for a 15-minute bowing break so that we may demonstrate our reverence for this bold, spunky leader. Yes! Tavros, stop bowing, that was a joke. No, keep doing that. Lower, Swabby, lower. Face with the fucking deck. Yeah, just like that. Perfect. How do you mind control so many ghosts at once? Isn't that kind of hard? Well, I do have a little help. John, did I mention my ancestor? She is the best. She is? I must admit, I was not in favor of the idea at first, but Vriska made a very strong case for using our combined powers in this way. In a perfect reality, no one would have to get hurt, but the stakes are too high to be shying away from such measures. See what I mean? The best. It has been a wonderful spending so much time on this adventure with my descendant, not just because it helped me get to know her better, but because it opened my eyes to things about myself I never really was in touch with. There are certain capabilities within me I've never quite been able to face, and she's helped me realize I've been hiding from them all my life, and well beyond. It must be true that what they used to say on my world, that if you really want to know who you are, look to the legacy left behind by your ancestors. I think that wisdom works in both directions. Well put, Marquise. I've always felt the exact same way. Puke. Oh my glove, the Cirque twins being a door bubble again. Nidrum, get your mob ready for swabbing up all this vomit coming out of my mouth. Ew, no. Can you two stick a fork in the sentimental carp? Maybe pretend you ain't hit it off so good. You ever stop and think how this makes me feel? There's no reason to be jealous, Mina. You know nothing has changed about our friendship. Jealous? Bitch, no. Just makes me think about my kid descendant and how instead of having this cool frenzy relation with her, I just got this uncontrollable urge to stab her to death so she don't threaten my supremacy. Which is a shame because she's so cute. God damn my royal blood and this cray junk it makes me have to do. Ah, well. Maybe someday I'll find an heiress who my genes don't instinctively make me want to murder on sight. Then I can teach her the badass ways of being a boss and shit. God, trolls are so weird. John just said trolls are weird. He said it quietly, but I heard him. Hey, you snitch! Yeah, but aren't we? Moral of the story is Blue Kid is a dumb nerd, but he's right when he says stuff. Look at that. It's like me and him are becoming fast friends, thus lulling him into a sense of false confidence already. What? Soon, my little whale. Soon. It is true. To a human, the ways of trolls from both Alternia and before us will seem very strange. In fact, prior to uniting in the afterlife, even the two groups of trolls were reasonably alien to one another. I've had a great deal of time to study the cultures of many species throughout Paradox Space. No matter which race you belong to, one can always find another whose ideals pose a challenge of comprehension to even the most open-minded. And though the ethical standards of those from Alternia may seem unpalatable to you, rest assured that there are beings elsewhere in the cosmos whose violent behavior will be considered extreme to even most trolls, like Lord English probably. Actually, John, I'm very glad you brought this up, because I was in the middle of a wonderful story about this very subject, which you interrupted when you boarded our ship. Oh. Sorry? No, that's fine. Really, I'm quite pleased that you did. That's where I get to start over from the beginning. There were some rough patches in my original telling, which I can go back and fix. This time it will be much better. Okay, what's the story about? It is a tale about a very mysterious alien race called cherubs. Let us begin. Once upon a time... Oh, she's actually going to tell it, okay. I thought it was just going to have someone tell her to shut up. World building! I'm not sure if this is actually like Caliborn being excited about the world building or not. There was a very mysterious alien race called cherubs. Erinea, I thought you said you'd fix the shitty parts of the story. You started with that crappy line in the first time, too. The opening line is fine. Side, I guess. Not. Oh, shut up and let me tell my story. Now, where was I? There was a very mysterious alien race called cherubs. Right. There was a very mysterious alien race called cherubs. But there was one cherub in particular who, for at least the first half of our story, will be our heroine. Them wings, though. She spent eons roaming her galaxy completely alone, but the time had come for her to find a mate. There's no small task for a This is no small task for a cherub, being an asocial species. They spend virtually no time in each other's presence at all. I can't read for shit right now, I apologize, but I'll continue anyway. Aside from when it's time to mate, they may go their entire lives without encountering another. And so they scatter their numbers throughout space, each staking a territory spanning many light years. But, like a predator is able to track the scent of its prey, a cherub can sense the presence of another nearby. This sense is especially strong if that cherub shares the same qualities its other half once had long ago, before it experienced the maturation process known as predomination. You see, when a young cherub hatches, it would appear that only one creature has begun its life, but the appearance is not to be trusted. The young cherub actually consists of two completely distinct beings, a male and a female, each sharing one body. The two halves are endowed with the polar opposite predispositions as well. One predisposed towards malevolence, another towards benevolence. Good or evil if you prefer to deal in simplistic terms, or at least those which are convenient for the sake of this story. I prefer to view the dichotomy as a kind of moral alignment, like an attribute that dictates the choices of a character makes in certain types of games I used to play. The male-female halves can be aligned either way, as long as they differ from each other. The resultant conflict between the two personalities is essential to life as a cherub, both before and after predomination. Shortly after hatching, the two halves begin vacillating. Vacillating? I don't know. Taking turns controlling the body. The only physical differentiation between the two is the coloration of their cheek swirls, which indicates alignment. There is otherwise no way to tell between male and female apart. Before cherub predominates. The vacillation process is demarcated by sleep. I really wish it wasn't 8s all the time for like A's and B's and shit. When the male goes to sleep, the female wakes up, and when the male wakes up, again the female sleeps. And so it goes back and forth like this, as the two identities vie over the body. Or vie for dominance over the other, and ultimately permanent control over the body. They grow to detest one another and develop a view of social interaction centered entirely around animosity and confrontation. For good cherubs, this readies them for a long life of isolation, as they will prefer to avoid this sort of conflict that comes with social interaction, as they have been conditioned to understand it. But for evil ones, the contentious upbringing only serves to fuel their inclination to harm others. And though this duality makes for a tormented childhood, the inner conflict it creates is an extremely important part of a young cherub's life. The defining part, actually, it is the struggle of a cherub's it is the struggle a cherub must overcome to mature, and this process culminates in predomination. One half will prove to have a stronger will than the other. The less dominant half will then weaken over time, and it will eventually become clear to both that one will not survive. The dominant personality will then completely consume the other, integrating it in such a way that only one is left. The cheeks will become solidly colored, and the cherub will grow to maturity as a single being, endowed with the alignment of the dominant half, and with all his or her personal qualities at the forefront of the union. In the case of our heroine, she was the good half, and the day of her predomination was in a sense the day her brother died. And though it was to her benefit and personal growth, because of this loss she would always live with a sense of something was missing. Every sexually mature cherub lives with this feeling. It drives them to seek out another cherub similar to the half they lost, the part of their being which they grew up in perpetual conflict with. The desire to travel the universe in hopes of reigniting that conflict is very important to their species. It's the force which compels them to procreate. That sure is the wrecked remains of a planet. So she set out to track his scent, as it were, and soon she found a physical trail as well, a path of carnage left behind by a particularly destructive male cherub. She followed the debris from civilized worlds and star systems he left behind, as if to mock her, to make it clear he knew of her pursuit and was all but paving her way with the dead. His brutality made her more furious, thus setting the mood, so to speak, for their imminent courtship. You. Oh hey, it's this part! A cherub of his alignment is singly motivated by little other than to conquer and destroy. From a bio-existential perspective, they behave somewhat like viruses attacking the system from within. But as with all symbiotic organisms living within a universe, these are balancing factors. While those inhabiting an evil cherub's territory will regard it as an unpredictable tyrant, those in the territory of a good cherub will likely come to view it as a protector, waiting quietly for millennia in deep space, ready to attack any encroaching threat. In that sense, they are not unlike cells in the universe's immune system. And there they go. This balance of forces allows stability, such that life and new civilizations can blossom and thrive within the universe, thus assuring the possibility of its own elaborate procreation process. But if that balance was ever disturbed, it would lead to chaos in the biosystem. The universe could not survive for long, and if by some means a cherub with such destructive tendencies were to achieve unprecedented power, the resulting imbalance would be catastrophic for Paradox Space itself. And though the heroine of our story could have no way of knowing, this is exactly what would result from the pursuit of her Kismesis. I wonder if it's Kismesis or Kismesis. Kismesis would have more S's in it, so I guess it's pronounced Kismesis. Like humans, cherubs perceive romance through only one quadrant. Unlike humans, their relationships are exclusively black. But their mating ritual is much more violent than any practice trolls would or even physically could engage in. And though it is critical to the perpetuation of their race, the confrontations can sometimes be lethal to one or both cherubs. Regardless of the outcome, the stakes are always high. The winner of the duel will assume control of the other's territory, while the loser will slink away to bear the offspring. So as she toured the planetary wreckage, she knew her quest for a mate was not just about the propagation of her species, but the liberation of billions from a monster. She pursued him for many sweeps with mounting obsession until one day the trail came to an end in a black hole. Cherubs typically seek out black holes as the setting for their mating ritual. But not any black hole. Once long ago it was a star, and circling that star was a planet. That planet was home to one of the presently sparring cherubs. The male in this case returned to the site of his hatching to mate, a location now conspicuously occupied by a truly massive black hole. This was where she found him, and this is where they would duel. Cool. While an adult cherub is a fearsome creature, and would be a formidable opponent to anyone in its unaltered state, this is not the form in which they do battle with each other. The ritual is more extreme and physically demanding than any other kind of courtship or duel in the universe. The moment they meet, they will both undergo a dramatic metamorphosis. Sex snakes! The mates will then duel as vast, frightening serpents, each an astronomical unit in length. The tangled struggle between the green astronomical units, is exceedingly brutal and can last for sweeps. While dueling in such a monstrous form, their energy is inexhaustible. The transformation taps into the cherub's latent connection with the enigmatic forces presiding over all that is eternal, and permeating all those endowed with immortality. Normally this power is only accessible to them during mating. In this form, they are only able to be injured by one another and are otherwise indestructible. Hence, the ritual can never be stopped by an outside force until it is complete. Double Mobius reach-around snakes. It should come as no surprise that in this story our heroine was victorious. Upon defeating her mate, she initiated the interlocking formation to complete the coupling, while assuming the dominant position, a stance undetectable to all but the most astute observers of the zoologically dubious. Consequently, the male was fertilized with the young. And then he left. He then slithered away in disgrace from the territory he'd just lost. A cherub looking to nest will search for a dead planet situated near a massive dying star. The egg is deposited on the red giant with on the planet's surface, and the rising temperature from the expanding red giant will incubate the egg until it is ready to hatch. Later in life, the cherub will grow wings, assuming it has matured properly. If it has learned to fly well enough to reach a safe distance from the nest before the star goes supernova, soon the hungry cherub will return and feast on the resulting stellar energy. Doing so allows it to gain enough strength to travel great distances and claim its own territory. The star will then collapse into a black hole, serving as a distinct gravitational beacon to the cherub later in life, so it may return there to mate. As it happens, our heroine's mate discovered Earth, long after it had journeyed to a new sun, and long since new civilizations had risen and fallen. Now on the brink of destruction from its dying star, its barren accommodations were ideal for a young cherub. There he deposited his single egg and flew away, never to return. No cherub ever spawns more than one offspring at a time, for it is every cherub's destiny to grow up alone. Or alone on the outside, at least. From that egg hatched one very special cherub with two names, one that few will ever know and one that few should ever say. A fascinating thing about cherub reproduction is how the parent's alignment is passed on to the young. If the male lays the egg, the alignment of the child's two halves will be the same as the parent's. If the female lays the eggs, the alignments will be flipped and the young male and female halves will be endowed with opposite alignments of the parents. As such, the male half took after his father. Perhaps the son even exceeded him in violent tendencies. It is hard to imagine there's ever been a cherub more willfully destructive or stubbornly dedicated to conquest than the monstrosity he would grow up to become. It's a festive-looking egg. And there's a Gamzee in the background looking at it. Due to his indomitable nature, I believe victory over his sister was a foregone conclusion. Barring a highly improbable glitch in causality, it would be almost impossible for her to predominate over someone like him. And even so, he didn't have the patience to wait. Unfortunately for everyone to ever exist, he discovered a way to predominate early. Yet it was not this act alone that would prove ominous, so much as the means through which it was achieved. He was allowed to become the solo player of a game which his kind was never meant to play. And so it is with the predomination of her son that our heroine's story ends, and the story of our villain begins. Hey, Mina, where are you going? I'm taking a gaper break, God. But the story isn't over yet. Girl, your stories never end. My bladder can't even deal. Just keep talking while I'm gone. No, that's okay. We can wait. I already heard the damn story, though. Not all of it. Clever fuck, can't you just keep yapping about snake sex while I hit the little grub's room already? As Nepeta and Pfeffery happen in the background. I'm afraid not. Everyone must listen to the full story. Oh my fucking god. You really are turning evil, aren't you? I would be proud except of how terrible and boring the actual consequences are for me personally. Wait, does that mean that when you're a ghost you still have to pee? None of your business, Blue Kid. That's so weird. Am I the only one who thinks that's weird? No, John, it's definitely pretty weird that ghosts have to pee. You get used to life as a ghost pretty fast, though. But weren't you already pretty used to peeing when you were alive? Yeah, that's why you get used to it pretty fast, dummy. This is kind of a stupid conversation. Can we hear more about the snakes and whatnot? It was a pretty cool story. Yeah, as soon as Mina returns from her visit to the Load Gaper. Holy mackerel, can you shitfucks just enjoy your space lizard porn while I take a fucking piss? Hats for everyone. I think we could all stand to take a brief intermission from the story regardless, to let all these intriguing facts about cherubs sink in. Ugh. You and your intermissions. What is with your intermissions? They ain't even intermissions most of the time. They're just an excuse to tell another dumb story inside a longer dumb story. Yes, Mina, you are correct, and your reservations are noted. However, would it change your mind if I were to propose not an intermission, but an interfission? Fine. Let's do the interfission thing you said, because of fish. BRB, scrubs. Begin interfission. What? eye patch guy fell the fuck down. like Captor, I guess. So, what are we doing here? I see. Okay, thanks, bye. I somehow have no memory of this flash other than Solix falling down, but this was great. Okay, anyway, end of intermission. I think, ending the intermission is probably a good spot to end the episode, actually. So, this has been Anashi Sasuke. I believe this is episode 118 of Let's Read Homestuck. In the next episode, we'll continue the world building as we watch Gamzee raise Caliborn to shoot him several times in the chest, multiple times. So, this has been Anashi Sasuke. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, a like and a subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, you'll need to do either one of those things. And I will see y'all in the next one. Later.